Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, September 21st, 2016. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. After issuing notice to discontinue their operations, the Physical Planning Board today demolished what it says were illegal structures of the Chill Spot Bar and Grill and the Aqua Bar and Restaurant in the Arnoldsville area. Sharon Garway was on the scene and tells us more in this report.
The failure to observe an order which it issued to the Chill Spot Bar and Grill and the General Hardware Aqua Eatery to cease business operations by Friday the 16th of September, the Physical Planning Board proceeded today to demolish the cafeteria-style dining area of both businesses. Town planner Shelford Stowe explained that his organization was only carrying out their duty.
Executing its enforcement action that was due, basically, because the developers were given adequate notice to remove the structures. That's all.
So what time did you come around here? I understand also next door?
It's an enforcement action taken against General Hardware and Rent and Drive. The operation of some unauthorized operations that have been conducted. And the board has finally made a decision as to what course of action should be taken. That's all I can say at this point.
At one point, one of the planning department staff was accused by persons on the scene of stealing bolts and nuts from the demolished building. However, when questioned, the town planner explained that they were only being collected to safeguard against passing vehicles.
No, he's just holding them, he's not taking them. No.
Okay, there you
go. Actually moving on the road.
Right.
Can't do on the road for vehicle towing.
Clarification.
Yeah. It's not taking the screws, it's just getting them out of the road. It can damage vehicles, it can damage the tire vehicles if you leave them in the road. So what he is doing, he's just picking these screws up basically and securing them.
Meanwhile, proprietor Lance Oliver sat on a nearby wall, seemingly distraught.
How do you feel about your workers?
However, workers at the Chill Spot Bar and Grill were extremely vocal as they knocked plates and forks, symbolizing their dissatisfaction with the unfolding events. Proprietor of the Aqua Eatery, Leo Anderson, was also on the scene, but declined to comment on the issue.
So good people to talk to, because they were all good customers,
right,
and they have been without this service, this privilege of coming and get a good food. When did they come? I mentioned to them going to Kentucky, and they said, no, you want to kill us? Those are the people to talk to, the patrons, yeah, who enjoy what is being offered here. Yeah?
After most of the persons had left the area, Oliver briefly spoke with our media team.
Everybody see what happening. It's here open for everybody. I just want to ask God to forgive all the people who was involved in this destruction. It's real discrimination, I mean, injustice.
Just behind of me is the Chill Spot Bar and Grill, where it is being demolished by workers of the planning board. You can see as well officers in the area cordoned off the area from any vehicles or persons passing through the area. Right next to me, of course, you can hear the music being sounded, is the Miracle Center Healing Deliverance Worship Center, the church just right next door, where they're having their Wednesday morning service. Reporting for SVG Television News, I am Sharon Garway.
Thank you, Sharon. And additionally, co-owner of the Chill Spot Bar and Grill, Maphone Mez Oliver, describes today's action as nothing but a comedy of errors. Ms. Oliver says that they made several efforts to comply with the Physical Planning Board, but often this was seemingly ignored.
Piping, we put all kind of thing, we put extractor fans and it wasn't working. The last resort, on advice from public health, we moved it on top of the roof. Now and also there was a committee set up to deal with this whole resident business situation, and you know, they came and they visited us, they tell us to continue the operations until we get a report from them. We never got a report, you know, so I just find it's a comedy of errors. I wrote several letters. My husband wrote several letters to planning, to public health, to cabinet. I think one even went to the Prime Minister, to the AG's office, looking for guidance. But nobody reached out to us. So I'm just really shocked. I mean, we appealed and we were advised by our lawyers that we could continue until the appeal was heard.
Mayers, who is a lawyer, said that she was stunned by the move to demolish the structures as the issue was in the hands of a lawyer who was only notified by the planning board's action while he was in court.
Our lawyer was served a document sometime this morning after they started the demolition process. So, I mean, I know the workers are here with us and they're, they want us to continue fighting. But really at this stage, I'm tired. I'm just tired. We've been trying. They're making us out to be the bad person, but we really aren't. We were trying to cooperate. We did several things.
And workers at the Chill Spot Bar and Grill expressed their dissatisfaction at today's shutting down of the business.
I want to know if they're going to find a work for all of us, because they close down with only source of income.
I find it's not right. I find they should have come and speak with my boss before they do anything. The decision is not right.
And it's very hard not to know I now start to work. I have my son to support at secondary school, and plus I have bills to pay, and it's very hard now I now start, and this building is closed like that, and it's unfair to everyone else, and unfair to the boss who employs so many people, and it's not right.
Several persons on the scene also share their views on the matter.
Handle in a better manner. If they say that the traffic was an issue, I can't see the reason why in the afternoon, just like they send police over there to direct the traffic, send a police here to direct the traffic and let the man business flow.
We want to talk about
I have nothing to say about this. This is the cows coming home. That's all I got to say about this.
But I personally feel the other business of them making us how the man now come on the scene, and I just see what's going on. They don't want the business going on like the man. And it's the man business in the day and in the night, and they just be scrambling.
In other news, although tremendous strides are being made to ensure justice and greater access to justice in society, members of the local legal fraternity has been encouraged to continue in their efforts as there is more work to be done. The appeal came from the Director of Public Prosecutions DPP, Colin Williams, in his remarks at a special sitting of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court to mark the start of the 2016-2017 law year yesterday. Highlighting the significance of this year's theme, the ECSC, the Movement Towards an Accessible Court, Williams noted that there are a number of issues to be addressed before equal access to justice is achieved.
Vincent and the Grenadines in the criminal court under the leadership of Justice Lachu has indeed been making tremendous strides. Indeed, there was a questionnaire that was circulated quite recently by the Caribbean Court of Justice, and they wanted to find out how far various territories were in terms of putting certain things in place. Are we going to meet some deadline in the future for doing certain things? And then we just had to indicate to them that, look, when these things that you are referring to are now part of the course here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is not to say, my lad, that even though we have made strides that we must stop here. There are indeed a number of other horizons that remain to be conquered.
In carrying out the aims of the court, President of the SVG Bar Association, Randy Batiste, called on the members of the legal fraternity, especially young lawyers, to take full interest in their role on the bar as well as their professional development.
And the introduction of a Young Lawyers Award to add some impetus for the young people to become more involved in the work of the Bar Association. Encourage members of the bar to register for these continuing legal education seminars. This is in preparation when the long sought after Legal Professions Act becomes a reality in this jurisdiction, it will become necessary and compulsory and mandatory to attend continuing legal education workshops and seminars, because those credits would go towards the validity of your practicing certificate, which you must have so that you may appear in our honorable courts. Failure to so have those credits, you may be able to pay the professional licensing fee, but you will not be able to appear in the court.
Newly appointed CDC Beauty Shows Coordinator Lafon Fraser says contestants in the Miss SVG pageant must ensure that they are adequately prepared for the pageant. On Hit Talk on Sunday, Fraser said that while considerable work is being done by the committee to ensure the readiness of pageant contestants, the contestants themselves too have a responsibility to ensure that they are properly prepared.
I mean, it's in your best interest. It's like, take it in I'm a lecturer, so I kind of equate this to the school system. If you are in Form 3 and you're doing fairly okay, but you didn't meet all the requirements to enter Form 4, you might beg me to get into Form 4, but I don't think you should go. It's not going to be beneficial to you when you get to the higher class.
It's not going to be beneficial to neither of us.
To anybody. I mean, no, but the teacher is not my concern. I'm thinking about the student. I'm thinking about the contestant. If you're not ready to get there, spend some time preparing yourself.
Right.
Past that stage, really be perfect. Well, nobody's perfect, but as best as possible, you know, attain that quality so that when you get to the higher level, when you get to Form 4, when you do enter Miss SVG, you're ready.
Meanwhile, Ricky Adams called on the public to give constructive criticisms in relation to Vincy Mars, as this is a required element for ensuring the growth and development of the festival.
But we want to say, you know what, if there is something that we're doing that needs to be done better, something that we're doing that needs to be changed, something that needs to be taken out or added, we want that feedback so that we can learn from it and be able to make the adjustments going forward so we can continue to improve the festival. So I don't look at feedback necessarily as somebody trying to get at you or whatever. What they're perhaps saying is that, you know what, I didn't enjoy a particular aspect of it, or there was something about it with which I'm concerned, and therefore how can we look to working with the components, working with the private sector, working within the members of the board, working with all the players who are involved, because there are a tremendous number of players involved in putting on any festival of this nature. How can we work together going forward so that we address the issues and we continue to improve the product?
The CDC chairman added that the organization will be adopting a collaborative approach for Vincy Mars in the hope of ensuring that the festival continues to grow and thrive.
One of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to ensure that going forward there's a less confrontational and more consultative approach from CDC. We need to collaborate and work together going forward, because CDC needs the private sector benefits from CDC having Carnival. The components need CDC, but there's no Carnival without the components. So everybody has to work together. We need the sponsors, and the sponsors benefit from the fact that there is a Carnival. So we've all got to work hand in hand going forward. We're going to be making some efforts to reach out to the entities locally. We're going to obviously be making efforts to reach out to the regional and international representatives who carry the Vincy flag all over the world.
Quality education is not merely about teaching, but the total development of a student. This was the comment from Elizabeth Walker, representative of the Ministry of Education, as she spoke at the opening ceremony of the Bethel High School's lunch and matter rooms earlier today. Walker stated that this contribution from the Mustique Charitable Trust will facilitate the overall development of the students, and thanks the trust for their continued support.
As I said before, you're not only supplying
the academic, but you're also looking at the nutritional needs of your students. On behalf of the Ministry of Education, I would like to thank the Mustique Charitable Trust, represented here by Mrs. Gomes and one of her colleagues in that department. And the Mustique Education Trust has been one of our major partners in education. It's not the first forum I'm in with Mrs. Gunn. She has been working with us also at the primary level in the delivery of literacy programs, reading, and we want to really say thank you. We appreciate your efforts, and also the other persons who would have collaborated on these projects that we are opening this morning.
Principal of the Bethel High School, Myrtle Todd, stated that the math room fills a void in providing a room designed specifically for the enhancement of the students' learning experience.
A math room will serve to facilitate teaching techniques that will foster student-centered learning, as well as provide support for the teaching of mathematics towards numeracy, all of which will contribute towards the achievement of our major goal, which is to ensure that our students are well equipped to function effectively in the world of work. Today, the Mathematics Department is proud to announce that the math room is completed and ready to be fully utilized.
That was Myrtle Todd, head of the math department at the Bethel High School. Meanwhile, trustee at the Mustique Charitable Trust, Lavinia Gunn, stated that the trust was set up to improve the opportunities of children and youth, and expressed confidence that the lunch and math rooms will assist in achieving this mandate.
So we hope that this support will assist the students at risk, who will now be in a better position to achieve their academic potential. I read with interest your mission statement, which is to provide a favorable teaching and learning environment and a developing knowledge, skills, attitudes that will adequately prepare learners to become responsible, productive citizens in an ever-changing world. I think this encapsulates what the Trust is trying to do here, and to make a difference to those children who are disadvantaged. So thank you so much for inviting me along. It's been a wonderful morning.
And the students at the St. Vincent Boys Grammar School had the opportunity to benefit from some knowledge and experience of many of the institution's former students today at an event dubbed Old Boys Day at the school. SVG Television News team caught up with former West Indies cricketer Michael Finley and forestry officer Joel Poyer, who both expressed delight in being able to impart some of their knowledge and experience with the students, which they say could help shape the young men into tomorrow's leaders.
Well, it's always good when you can pass on your experience to the younger generation of people. When we were boys, there were older people who came and passed their knowledge and experience to us. And it's only fair that in our time, once you're still alive and still healthy, that we can do the same for these young men. They need to know some practical things about life. And I sincerely hope that what I'm speaking to them about would give them some idea of life in general. There's a lot of challenges, but basically once they keep their heads on, once they have guidance from their parents, I'm sure they're going to come out as fantastic people. And I hope one day that some of them will become top students and good people in the community that could help to promote and develop the country.
Well, it's important, right? I see it as something that each old boy should find in order to come back and pass on to our younger member, so that they could understand what it was for us, what that they are going to know, and how we could blend and bridge the generation gap, so they understand what it's all about. Well, because of my involvement, I am sure that I can use my involvement to mentor and assist in many other ways to students. Sometimes students may be coming from a broken home, and maybe I could assist in some way or the other to be a big brother.
Some of the students expressed gratitude for the opportunity to learn from their elders.
Well, I feel very inspired as a cricketer because cricket has been my dream for a very long time, and Mr. Finley is a cricketer and he spoke about certain techniques and the protection that we use and stuff, so I feel very inspired.
I feel blessed to have somebody to talk about their experience and teach us how to behave when we're supposed to go through his experience. I thank him for everything he said, and it was really a blessing to have him.
You know, I feel like he cares about us, like he wants the younger generation to, like, you know, come more successful, because, you know, these days a lot of ghetto youths, you know, smoke weed and stuff and do nothing. So he wants us to get a good education and tell us, you know.
And you continue using knowledge that he imparted upon you.
Yeah,
to do better.
of course.
Yes, I think that I could use this powers of wisdom because people need to know, people need to stop burning down grasses and bushes over savings, because it helps us to breathe and we need grass.
Happy Mr. Poirier came and have this little talk with everyone?
Yes, please.
Well, yes, I am glad that he came to tell us all the information that he told us. I just want to thank him very much, and that he should keep on doing it, spreading the information.